How to Build a Billion-Dollar Company, a case study for 15 to 45-year-olds in Yvonne Chouinard and Patagonia.
The way to build a billion-dollar company is to make something for the industry you love, work with the right people, and maintain legendary values.
By learning how to create a product or two that improves the industry, you create opportunity.
By working with the right people, you enable yourself a lifestyle with the freedom to check in by phone 3 times in 5 months.
Through higher principles, people will flock to you as team members and consumers.
In Patagonia and Yvonne Chouinard protect our planet is around everything they do.
What is Patagonia? The original story is that in 1957, the 18-year-old version of Yvonne Chouinard bought a 138-pound anvil, a used coal forge, and blacksmithing tools. Using an old harvesting blade and old-fashioned inspiration from a Swiss climber, teenage Yvonne Chouinard started a billion-dollar enterprise from the trunk of his car and a tin shed in his parents' backyard. Canned cat food was on Patagonia's early cafeteria menu.
The 1960s to the 2000s represent 40 years of growth in 1.5 to billion-dollar increments under the Patagonia brand year over year. During 2017 to 2018, their annual gross revenue growth curve stuck due to an astonishing 5% in a time when people were supposed to stay quarantined.
Patagonia Works operates as an umbrella company, streamlining partnership, HR, accounting, and legal services for its
Affiliates.
Interesting. To date, the Patagonia brand has contributed over $116 million in environmental aid to agencies around the world. Patagonia Works annual benefit corporation in 2021.
A staggering 450 employees work daily to protect our planet, creating and supervising the execution of grants to the appropriate environmental agencies.
Today, the Patagonia Incorporated offices resemble an environmentally friendly college dorm slash recycling center where the 2,730 employees all love nature and the range of healthy activities it houses. Solar systems outline a modern campus as wetsuits dry on the roofs of Patagonia staff cars. The Patagonia worksite is a 5-acre property a few minutes away from the surf. If you can spot an employee at Patagonia who doesn't like getting outdoors, congratulations, you have found a unicorn.
Patagonia has hundreds of stores in 10 plus countries across 5 continents, as well as factories in 16 countries. Every facility centers around environmentally sound practices in 6 critical human impact categories: gear, peer, appear, apparel,
Carol?
Apparel.
food, water, energy, and waste.
All leaders and CEOs of Patagonia have spent considerable amounts of time in the great outdoors over the last 70 years. For the current CEO of Patagonia Works, Ryan Gellert, mountain climbing has defined pretty much everything about my life for the past 25 years.
Through interlacing die-hard environmental virtues, Yuan Chunat built a $1 billion empire as one of the best examples to see how to build an internationally renowned brand around a lifestyle you love.
What's special about the Patagonia office? Patagonia employees are hired for their independence, and colonies don't have bosses. Everybody knows what their job is, and they get their job done. Say Shunard. Shunard. Psychologists have studied Patagonia work culture and have told Yvonne Yvonne Shunard that his employees are so independent they are unemployable anywhere else. with the freedom to set their work life around their outdoor passion in nature. The founder and original creator of Patagonia's work culture has entitled his manifesto.
Perfect. First time's perfect.
Yep.
Let my people go surfing. The education of a relu- reluctant, reluctant businessman.
You got it.
Businessman.
Good
Reluctant.
reading, man. Good. Daycare since 1983. The human brain grows more between birth and 5 years of age than at any other point in a person's life. In fact, at 3 years old, a person has developed approximately 80% of their brain matter for the rest of their adult life. For every parent who is an avid lover of outdoor activities and supports the development of their young, childcare at work leads to more productive, protective measures in the way people approach and handle work.
Over the past 39 years, on-site daycare with a devoted childcare department is a regular physical commitment. Self-reported at over 70% of the Patagonia workforce as women. Yvonne Schunard has created sustainable centers where people integrate their kids, families, and work supporting family seamlessly.
Find a need and fill it. For Yvonne Schunard, Patagonia started by going after falcons. Okay. The Southern California Falcone Club of Southern California train hawks and falcons for hunting. Don Prentice, one of the club leaders, taught Yvonne and his friends how to rappel down the cliffs to the crevice where falcons made their homes. Yvonne and his friends loved scrabbling up and down the mountain's faces so much that they started boarding freight trains to the sandstone cliff of San Fernando Valley.
In the American 1950s to 1960s. Oh, wait, one point here. Tawe, some of that stuff is
Yes.
inspired from your style of writing, okay?
Thanks.
Yeah, that paragraph has a little bit of you in there. Okay. All right. Learning from you. Okay. All right. Straight up. Okay. You felt it, huh? Right? Okay. All right. In the American 1950s and 60s, young Yvonne Chouinard traveled through California, living and breathing mountain climbing. The growing community of climbers and outdoor enthusiasts made for welcome outings in the pristine national parks of the United States.
The only pittons available at the time were made from soft iron, placed once to secure safely ropes that left in the rock. But in Yosemite, climbers go for days on end, placing the pittons hundreds of times throughout their climbs.
And then let me help you out with Yosemite, right? That last E is like a double E, Yosemite, okay?
Yosemite.
All right. Yeah, but you don't have to do it in the sing-song way that I did. Thank you. Okay. All right. T, take it away.
Okay, Shuna, after meeting John Salate, a Swiss climber who had made hard iron pythons out of model AXR, decided to make his own reusable hard iron pythons. Using Shunat's first pythons, mountain climbers could reduce their overall load weight, reuse their pythons, and leave a clean climbing trail after they have reached the peak.
If you're a climber in need of reusable pittons, you could buy one for $1.50, about $15 today.
That's pretty cheap.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. But then if the next point is clear.
Yvonne Chouinard eventually taught himself to make 2 chrome molybdenum steel
think so.
pythons in 1 hour. Wait, yes?
I said I think so. I think that's the way you say it.
Effectively creating a $30 job for him, $30 hour job for himself directly from his love of the outdoors. And this is the soft iron python, which is hard to reuse, and this is the hard iron python, which is pretty easy to reuse.
I'm learning to keep it like super clear.
I don't look like there are two differences. One of them is soft and one of them is hard, and that's like the difference.
Yeah, it's practical, you know? Practical Mag, right? Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
As Sauda began to grow and Yvonne Chouinard integrated life and work, he built a small tin workshop in his parents' backyard in Burbank, California. On surfing days up the California coast at Big Sur and San Diego, Yvonne Chouinard would simply place his anvil in the sand after a surf session with chisel and hammer. Yvonne Chouinard would cut up the pieces he needed to complete later at the shop with the forge.
So real quick timeout. What I wanted to write was like beach, sound of waves, ocean, long day of surfing, anvil
Uh,
on the
ju-
sand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I
Okay,
saw it as like he just brought like an anvil to the sand and just like I'm to work at the beach with literally an anvil and a hammer.
yeah, that's why later I think I want to write like books and poetry, I think that's what's going to be like the most fun for me maybe. But the other part that's really cool here is just prepping, and then one quick small pronunciation point. You want to sound like a Latino guy when you say this, okay? San Diego, Diego.
San Diego.
Right, like
San
hola,
Diego.
San Diego. Perfect.
Hola, amigos.
Okay, good. You got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You sound like someone who speaks Spanish now. Okay. All right. Now let me see here. I'm going on. Okay. Over his quest to find the best climbs, the best experiences for a young man in 1960s America, Yvon Chouinard forged mountain climbing pittance during the winter. During spring, Yvon Chouinard spent his time gallivanting around with the nature community in Yosemite. In summers, you could find him climbing the mountains of the US, Canada, and even the Alps.
Build it and they will come. I don't care how you work as long as the job gets done. You want Chouinard. More than 9,000 applicants sought 16 converted internships at Patagonia offices in 2019. Young people, young and old, as consumers and employees gravitate toward two very clear factors in what set Patagonia apart: quality and values.
All right. And then one thing here, we have coveted, right?
Confident,
Meaning,
Coveted. When you say this, I want you to sound like super jelly, right? Coveted. When something is coveted, it's like you really want it. Everybody wants it. It's
like
good. It
everyone
can be
is
physical or
desire.
position. Yeah, it's connected with desire, right? Lots of people desire it. It's generally hard to obtain, right? That's that big difference there where it's coveted. But yeah, when you say it, it's that air going out and you're jelly, coveted, right? Coveted something. Okay. All right, you try. One more time. You say it that way. Coveted internship. That way.
confident internship.
Nice. Okay. All right. Now sound like you're jelly.
How?
How? Okay, don't worry. No acting. This is not an acting class. Okay, moving on. Okay, T, go ahead.
Okay, my apologies. In a time of very clear generations of 20 to 40 years olds hoping to achieve long-lasting work-life balance, people looking for work tend to seek companies with values and real impact, with annual sales on track to exceed $1 billion. Patagonia products bespeak long-lasting durability and values behind their operations.
Yep. Just a quick note here right now. It's going to be, let's say we think about two groups at least, right? Where we have people who own and lead companies and then people who work at them. Okay. I think that both groups are looking for something with value and real impact. And my evidence comes down to like hundreds of interviews over the last couple of years, right? Lots of people between this age group. And like they know that there's a lot of work out there, right? They know that there's plenty of ways to make money, but they would prefer, hopefully, right, that it does something good. That's what I couldn't really write here and had to cut a bunch of stuff, but I think you guys get the point, you know? Yeah. Okay. Past leadership includes Buddhist mountain climbers and Patagonia team members are seasoned surfers, right? So I'm expanding the other point. Accomplished surfers and mountain climbers understand that both of these sports require a key apex moment. A singular moment of success or failure is preceded by preparation and training. Celebration takes place afterward.
Whenever you are able to ride a wave for 90 seconds or have finally reached the highest peak, you know that everything leading up to this moment brought you here.
That was good reading, bro. That was really excellent. Okay. All right. Go ahead, T.
If you look at each
Gotcha.
job like it's the top of a mountain, then you know how to finish it. By planning for each two, you need to reach the summit. You see each phrase and step towards completion and success.
Clear. That was clear reading. As a result of that was not clear. As a result of creating practically better products and combined with real values people can get behind, talented team members help build the billion-dollar enterprise. Consumers truly enjoy a good product that lasts through wear and tear. Excellently. As independent staff members build out their schedules with the goal to get the job done, the infrastructure of a solid company grows beneath you.
Trust in the right people. And this is the picture of Rose Macario, Patagonia veteran CEO for 12 years. Yuan Shunan has always understood the practicality of women's choices and decision making. It was Yuan Shunan's mother's idea to move from Maine to the temperate climate of California to improve his father's asthma. Yuan self-reportedly fell in love with his wife after watching her rip off the license plate of Yosemite letterers to report them to Yosemite Park Rangers. Rose Macario quadrupled Patagonia's revenue in her tenure and simultaneously contributed to more grassroots environmental campaigns than any other Patagonia CEO in the history of the company. Finally, as Yuan Shonat was brought up surrounded by women and contributed to surround himself with them by preference, Yuan Shonat only trusts women to hire people at Patagonia. A citation from the New Yorker 2021.
It was Rose Macaro. Macaro?
I think it's Macario, like
Okay,
car in there. Yeah.
Macar.
Mm.
Macar.
Mm,
That's my
mm,
car.
That's my
was-
car, right? Rose,
Yeah.
that's my car. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't.
It was Rose Macario that pointed out that rampant consumerism
Consumerism.
wasn't ideally attractive to younger generations. As CEO for over 12 years, Rose Macario, I cannot get over it.
You got it right.
Rose Macario shaped Patagonia into much of what it is today.
All right. This is a journalist in a meeting with Rose Macario here. There are two small holes in the chest of my black beast, as if a vampire took a nip. But Rose Macario, the CEO of my Patagonia, does not think I need a new one. The outdoor apparel retailer would make more money if Macario pushed one of the supple pink and purple pullovers on sale for $100.19. No, $119 in Patagonia's store downstairs. Instead, she suggests a different idea. You can just patch it, she says. Sitting near an open window at Patagonia's Camp Lake Ventura, California headquarters, wearing brown Buddhist prayer beads on her wrist. It's an odd statement for the head of a retail company, but she shrugs and says, I'm not really a buyer of things.
That is my story as well, but it starts on the beach and not in the mountains. I grew up in Cocoa Beach,
Fla.
Florida.
Ah,
So it is not exactly a little alpine village in the hills. And I grew up in an era that in some ways feel like a forgotten past when you are as a kid. You were always outside. There was an ocean across the street and a river right on the other side, with dolphins and manatees and stuff. So I grew up surfing, playing at the beach and camping on the islands. So many people in Cocoa Beach build their lives around surfing. And I was super inspired that some of those people went on to become professional surfers. I did not share that passion, but I always thought that when I get older, I wanted to figure out how I could find something that I'm really into. Right after university, I moved west to Salt Lake to become a ski bum. Then I went rock climbing for one time, and that was it. That was the point I knew, oh, I will spend the rest of my life doing this. From Ryan Gao. Get it?
When asked if the company plans to continue with Patagonia 1% yearly commitment to protect the environment, his first words was absolutely. And picture of Jenna Johnson, the new head of Patagonia Inc.
Go ahead, D.
Jenna Johnson is a lanky rock climber with the sheer responsibility of managing the business direction of Patagonia Inc. in all things appear and gear. With an impactful voice in how environmentalism impacts Patagonia values, Jenna Johnson rose from Vice President of Technical Outdoors Products, hands-on hands-on experience in building product from trail surfing, climbing, and snowboarding helps make for clear decision making at Patagonia Inc. Furthermore, her biggest goal is to continue to align the creation of these products with the company mission. We're in business of saving the planet. Patagonia mission statement.
Earlier this year, Jenna Johnson, Patagonia Inc.'s president, met with Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, at the White House as a leading corporate leader to discuss the impacts and necessities of improvements to childcare. Passionate, focused, and impactful people in your team will help you build an organization that grows on, even after your tenure as leader is over.
Prove your car values. The best thing you can do for the planet as far as clothing goes is to buy used clothes and wear them until you just can't wear them anymore. From Yuan Chuna. As a retailer, what company in their right mind devotes funds to startups focused on recycling old products instead of working towards the consumer buying the newest line? In April 2017, Patagonia announced that merchandise in decent condition can be returned for new merchandise credits. The used merchandise is cleaned, repaired, and sold on its own website. In 2019, it launched a program named Recrafted that creates and sells clothing made from scraps of fabric coming from used Patagonia gear. Over 100,000 items have been purchased to date, proving that Patagonia's core value of creating sustainability is backed up by its practices.
Protect your core values. The president stole your land. In a legal move, the president just reduced the size of Beers Grand Staircase Escalante National Moments. This is the largest elimination of protection line in American history. Patagonia social media during Bear Year's National Land Reduction. On December 6, 2017, Patagonia the United States government and President Donald Trump for the legal interpretation of the clause used to build the Bear Year's National Monument, a fraction of its original protected state. Unafraid to risk the governmental lash back from the Trump administration. Then CEO Rose Macario contend that the Antiquities Act of 1906 limits a president's power to reverse a prior president's monument designations.
Oh, good. You get all the hard ones. Okay, all right. By eliminating so much of the Bear Ears National Monument, the president is putting over 1 million acres of land at risk for permanent destruction, and we aren't going to just stand by. Protecting public lands is a core tenet of our mission and vitally important to our industry. and we feel we need to do everything in our power to protect this special place. Rose Macario, Patagonia CEO during the Bear Ears National Movement Monument Reduction Lawsuit.
The Bear Ears National Monument, created by President Barack Obama shortly before he left office, was restored to 1.36 million acres, and the Grand Staircase was restored to 1.87 million acres by President Joe Biden.
Always give a resolution, right? It's satisfying, right? Okay.
Include your customers in your mission.
So one thing that I was doing when I was doing this too was like I had the thought in my brain too. I was like, what happened in the end? You know, there's got to be an update. And then I looked for it and then I stuck it in there and I was like, oh, okay, this is part of a good process. Okay. All right, clear. Okay, let me see here. Trust your brain. That's the point, right? Trust your brain. Clear?
Mhm.
Okay, Kev. All right, T, take it away.
Okay. Include your customers in your mission. In 2016, an aspiring Patagonia employee had the completely outside the box idea to donate Patagonia's Black Friday profits to protect the environment. Not just a share of the day's revenue, but the entire revenue generated on Black Friday went to hundreds of grassroots environmental organizations. At Patagonia, it's ideas that like this that get taken up the chain of leadership, and within a few days, Patagonia promised their unconventional campaigns on social media. With the promise of helping the planet with every pushes, Patagonia include all of its customers in its mission to protect the planet. Patagonia ended up donating over.
Oh, I'll help. All right.
Oh, okay.
Teamwork. Patagonia ended up donating over $10 million from 2016 Black Friday sales. Black Friday cost us a bunch of money, but 60% of the customers were new buyers. 60%. It was one of the best business things we've ever done. Ivan Chouinard. Create a network of like-minded businesses. So this is the fact sheet from 1% for Our Planet, an organization that they created together, where you donate either 1% of your salary, 1% of gross revenue, or 10% of net profit, whichever is greater, which proves all of this stuff is like a really good business model if you can do that, right? If you can cut away 10% of your net profit away, right, and still function as like a really good business, man. Okay. All right, here we go. For the last 37 years, Patagonia Works, Patagonia Inc., and affiliates have donated 1% of gross sales or 10% of net profit, whichever is greater. Every fund recipient protects the environment in some shape or form. Consider for a moment the value of partnerships between businesses driven by similar passions. From raw material sourcing to sharing distribution costs, there are true monetary savings and potential revenue in collaborating with businesses with like-minded goals. And then you got here putting people on the planet over profit. And then we got
Right how you see.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Right how you see your company. The first thing you see upon visiting PatagoniaWorks.com is a letter from the founder, Warren Chouinard. His letter represents a level of communication that encompasses the way Warren Chouinard sees protecting the environment and living into the future as a species. In a clear and direct logic, Yuan provides evidence and examples of action and his views, along with exactly where Patagonia stands in it all. Assemble these factors underneath your wings, and you will have your billion-dollar company. Introducing Patagonia Works, a new kind of holding company. Ventura, California, on May 6, 2013. I don't like to think myself as a businessman. I have made no secret that I hold a fairly skeptical view of the business world. That said, Patagonia, the company my wife and I founded 4 decades ago, has grown up to, by global standards, a medium-sized business, and that bestows on our family a serious responsibility. The last line of Patagonia's mission statement is, use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. We have always taken that seriously. Also, hold up, I gotta charge my computer real quick.
No problem, brother. I'll help out. T will help out with this paragraph. Go ahead.
All right. Three examples. Every year for 30 years. Every year for 30 years. I don't know why. It just sounds funny for me. Every year for 30 years, Patagonia has donated 1% of its sales to grassroots environmental organization. We help intimate the Sustainable Apparel Coalition, an organization of companies that produces more than a third of the clothing and footwear on the planet. In a very short time, the coalition has launched an index of social and environmental performance that designers and eventually consumer can use to make better decisions when developing products or choosing materials. In 2012, we became one of California's first B Corps benefit corporations, which means that the that helped make our company successful are now etched into our legal charter.
I just gotta say that's a really awesome nerd note, right? Like I love law and like little details like that. This is really cool. It's that their environmental values are actually a part of their legal charter, right? Which is going to be like all the documents that say this is what the company is, and like, if you don't do these things, I can sue you. It's really cool. That's the nerd part of me that loves it, the legal nerd. Yes. Okay. All right. Now is the time for Patagonia to take the next logical step to reach out beyond the framework of the apparel and outdoor industries. Today, my family and I are happy to launch $20 million and change, an internal fund to help like-minded, responsible startup companies to bring about positive benefit to the environment.
With the launch of this fund, we have reorganized Patagonia and our other businesses within a new holding company called Patagonia Works. While most holding companies are about diversification, Patagonia Works is dedicated to a single cause, using business to help solve the environmental crisis. Russ Macario, President and CEO of Patagonia Works and Patagonia Inc., has always been instrumental in tripling profits for our company. She is also applying her business acumen and keen sense of social and environmental responsibility to new companies in 5 critical areas: clothing, yes, but also food, water, electricity, and waste. Rose has been responsible for the launch of Patagonia Provisions, which will soon expand beyond our smoked sockeye salmon, while caught in native waters by First Nation tribes, to other foods that, like our salmon, are more thoughtfully sourced. The food business is, as much as the apparel or energy industries, environmentally broken. It takes more from the planet than it gives back. We aim to find ways to get what we want to eat by working with nature rather than against it.
Question, Paul.
Yes.
Did you forgot to record the whole entire sessions, or it's just like a bug thing? Because I didn't even see. I
It's
didn't
still
sound like
recording. We're still recording, bro. It's still good. You made me check. You made me check. Okay, that's good. We're good.
because I didn't see like the recording icon, so I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, we have here. That was a great point, Tawe. That was great reading, by the way. Okay, you
Thanks.
sound official and corporate. But that's what's really good writing, right? It's really good writing. Okay, and I love that it's the first thing you see when you go to their website. It's the landing page. Right, let's wrap it up real fast here. T, take it away.
Okay. How does Mighty Patagonia works and 20 millions and change as revolutionary business ventures? You think that bots are just the next logical steps to doing business more responsibility? Economic growth for the past 2 centuries has been tied to an spiraling carbon bonfire. Business and human success success in the next 100 years will have come from working with energy rather than using it up. That is a necess- necessity, not a luxury as is seen in most headquarters. We invite and encourage our companies to start work with us in that direction. To,
You don't have to read this part. It's okay.
okay,
Okay, and then this is what he looks like pretty recently here. Okay. I made these on Canva and then through Lightroom and then a few things editing filters to make it look like this. It's good. Okay, we're in the business of saving the planet, and then I think I gotta delete this. This is a repeat. Okay, and then here we have author's note. Oh my God, I wrote this. This is, oh, I'm shy. Okay, all right, here we go. Author's note. Now, the way to a billion-dollar company is not an easy one. However, one must always begin any long-term project with a framework. To create an organization that stands the test of time and change, one must represent their own variation of core principles that make it functional. Surround yourself with people who believe and act on the same values. Guided by what you believe collaboratively, the products and services you create will have new value for every new generation of people. Business and industry will live on forever, but it can't continue without people.